To understand the power of the present moment fully, we must look at the role the mind plays in our lives. The mind, with its constant thoughts and patterns, often takes us away from the present and places us in a mental state of past memories or future projections. Most people spend their lives in this state of mental distraction, never truly living in the now. However, it is important to understand that we are not the mind. We are the consciousness that observes the mind, the awareness that notices thoughts as they arise. The moment we begin to realize this distinction, we free ourselves from the mental patterns that limit our experience. We are no longer bound by the constant stream of thoughts. We become the silent observer, aware and present. One of the key realizations in the power of now is that most of our suffering is self created. Our pain is not a result of external circumstances but of our attachment to them and the thoughts we create around them. When we resist the present moment or wish things were different, we create internal conflict and suffering. The key to overcoming suffering is acceptance. Accepting things as they are without judgment or resistance. Acceptance does not mean passivity or complacency. It means recognizing what is without adding mental layers of resistance or judgment. By accepting the present moment, we release ourselves from the burden of constantly struggling against reality. We no longer fight against life, but instead we flow with it, embracing its changes and uncertainties. This acceptance brings a deep sense of inner peace. When we stop resisting life, we stop creating unnecessary tension and stress within ourselves. The mind, which thrives on judgment and comparison, begins to quiet down when we let go of these patterns. As the mind quiets, we enter a state of pure being, one that is free from the noise of thoughts. Living in the present moment also means letting go of the need to control everything. The desire to control our surroundings, our relationships, and our future often leads to stress and anxiety. By accepting that we cannot control everything, we open ourselves to a deeper trust in life. This trust also allows us to surrender to the flow of life, knowing that we are always supported by the present moment. In this state of surrender, we find that everything we need is already within us. We no longer look outside ourselves for happiness or fulfillment. The present moment holds everything we need: peace, joy, and a deep sense of connection with ourselves and the world. It is only by being fully present that we can realize the true richness of life, which is not dependent on external circumstances but on our inner state of being. Ultimately, the present moment is the doorway to enlightenment. It is in the now that we experience the divine, the essence of life itself. By being present, we transcend the limitations of the mind and ego and step into a space of pure consciousness. This is the true freedom, the freedom to be, to exist fully in the present moment and to experience life as it is. As we continue exploring the essence of the present moment, it becomes clear that time, as we experience it, is an illusion. The past and the future are mere mental constructs. The only true reality is the now, the eternal present. When we live in the past or future, we disconnect from life as it is happening. The mind, however, is constantly pulled into the past and future. It creates narratives based on past experiences and projects them onto the future. This causes us to live in a cycle of attachment and longings, always either regretting the past or fearing the future. We miss the only moment that truly exists, the present. To free ourselves from the grip of the mind, we must cultivate the ability to observe our thoughts without becoming attached to them. By observing the mind, we create a gap between the thinker and the thought. This space of awareness allows us to realize that we are not our thoughts, we are the awareness that perceives them. When we stop identifying with our thoughts, we can experience life directly, without the interference of mental commentary. The moment we detach from the mental narrative, we enter a state of pure consciousness, when everything is seen as it is, without distorting or judgment. This direct experience of life is peaceful, joyful, and liberating. It is in this state of presence that we truly experience the depth of existence, the profound peace that comes from simply being. When we live in the present, we are no longer bound for the past or future. We are free to experience life as it unfolds in the now. The key to entering this state of presence is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without distraction or judgment. It involves observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations without becoming identified with them. By practicing mindfulness, we begin to break free from the mental patterns that keep us trapped in the past and future. The more we practice mindfulness, the more we become aware of the present moment. This awareness allows us to recognize the beauty of life as it is and its raw and unfiltered form. When we embrace the present, we begin to see the world with fresh eyes as if everything were new. True freedom lies in the ability to be fully present in the now. It is not about escaping the mind, but about transcending it. When we transcend the mind, we tap into a higher level of consciousness, one that is not bound for the limitations of thought or ego. This is the true essence of freedom, the ability to experience life without mental interference. In this state of freedom, we find peace, joy, and a deep sense of connection with all of existence. The present moment is the gateway to this freedom, and it is always available to us. By embracing the now, we unlock the door to a life of true peace and fulfillment.